Well, we got a new casting and maybe a new villain for the Fantastic Four. Let's break down the new casting news with Paul Walter Hauser, what roles we think he could be taking up, and the strong possibility he could be a villain. I'll give you one guess who he might be playing. Now, before we do that though, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button and ring that bell for all the updates. We do daily Marvel and DC videos, and we want to be your place for all the superhero news, but we're going to bring it to you truthfully and transparently so you are in the know. Well, as many of you know, the Fantastic Four is going to be really important to the future of the MCU. And although we have the team fully in place, there are a lot of other roles associated with this movie that have not been cast. Now, last night we found out that Blackbird and Cruella star Paul Walter Hauser has joined the cast of the Fantastic Four. Now, he is another pretty exciting and fairly impressive addition as far as the cast goes to the upcoming reboot. And even though it was reported by the trades he had been picked up, we have no idea what character he's playing. Now, there are two characters that kind of come to mind for most people. The first one would be Herbie the Robot. Herbie was featured prominently in that art piece during the announcement for the Fantastic Four, and he is pretty classically tied to the team and the team's history, especially that late 1970s cartoon series. Now, another character's name who keeps popping up though is Mole Man. As many of you know, Mole Man was one of the original villains for the Fantastic Four, and since we know this story is taking place in the 1960s, well, Mole Man would be an excellent choice. Now, if you're unfamiliar with Mole Man, that's perfectly okay. His real name is Harvey Rupert Elder, and he was created by Stan Lee and Jack Kirby and made his first appearance in Fantastic Four #1 way back in 1961. Now, in the comics, he was a skilled scientist who kind of got a little overwhelmed trying to discover the legendary land at the Earth's core. After being rejected by his scientific peers, he ventured into the depths of the Earth and encountered a subterranean race known as Moloids. He was hailed as their leader and eventually adopted the moniker Mole Man. Quite honestly, when you look at Hauser, well, you can kind of see how he could be taking up the role of Mole Man and why he would be a good casting. Now, this is where it gets interesting, because shortly after the casting announcement, Hauser reacted to a couple of posts over on Instagram, and quite honestly, he almost appeared to be confirming the role. Let's check it out. Now, you can see at the top there where Hauser posted the original art piece and then a couple of comments. The first one being, "This man is booked and busy," which he did like, and then the second comment is from Danny Limelight, "Please be Mole Man." Now, he also liked that post, and that has led to a lot of speculation from people he could indeed be picking up the villainous role. Now, to be fair, he also liked a comment that said, "Please be Blade," so he very well may not be playing Mole Man, and I don't want to jump to any conclusions. We already know Galactus and the Silver Surfer are going to be part of this film, so I'm kind of unsure where Mole Man would technically fit in, even though he is a pretty good casting. Since this does appear to be somewhat of an outer space adventure, well, it makes Mole Man not such a great fit for the film, but it doesn't mean he'll be a major villain. Often superhero films can open up with the team facing off with a one-and-done quick baddie, and Mole Man could be exactly that villain, especially if we're not going to spend any time on this planet. Now, some people have pointed to the possibilities of him playing Galactus, although I really don't think he is a good fit. I wasn't in the casting room, and he is a professional actor, so he might have impressed somebody at Marvel Studios to take up that role. Now, we're going to follow this story pretty closely, and hopefully we get some kind of confirmation on what character he's going to play sometime soon. The movie's not set to release till July 25th, 2025, and I think if Marvel's going to try to keep certain elements of the film under wraps, well, who the villains are will become pretty important, and they might not want to reveal any of that for as long as possible. What character he turns out to be ultimately playing, well, we're going to have to wait and see.